So hi friends, today here we are again with my another match with Mr. Udevzir Ahmet from Sweden. So here we are gonna analyze this match and we are gonna learn a lot of things from here. So let's start. Here I played the move e4 and my opponent also played e5. It's the most conventional way of playing chess and some of them also plays the Sicilian variation like it's c5. I like to play Vienna game, so I played knight to c3 and my opponent responded knight to c6. And then I played the Vienna gambit max lunge line. And here it's a move pawn to f4. Pawn to f4. As so you guys can watch my arrow drawing skill. It's too bad. Okay, please ignore it like my chess skill. And yeah, this line is a little bit risky because here my opponent can play queen to h4 and give me a check. Then I have to move my king or this structure. This pawn, but I can't play actually pawn to g3 because then he will capture this pawn and the pawn will be pinned to the king and this is gonna be losing for me. So then I have to play like king to e2, but I can play with it. So I played here and I tried for the Vienna line and my opponent responded with bishop to b4. That's a good move, as you can see. That's of course not the best move, and here the best move is to take that pawn. So give it. Then I play knight to f3 and my opponent supported this pawn, this center pawn with his d pawn. And here I challenge this bishop as knights are a little bit less valuable than these bishops, so I want him to take this bishop. To take my knight, because then I will recapture this knight with my d pawn and I will have a open file for my queen. I'm gonna use this open file later, and in these games these open files helps me a lot. And in the text move he did that and I took that bishop with this pawn. As you can see, this is of course the best move here. And now he developed his knight to f6 and he is trying to castle. Of course he is trying to castle short side, as you can see. If he wants to castle long side, then he have to remove these two pieces. I developed my bishop and I defended this pawn. By developing this bishop, I also could have defended this pawn like by even queen to d2, e2. And here I pinned my knight with his bishop, and this is a quite good move, right? Because in the one main move he developed his bishop and gain a tempo. This is a tempo. And here I castled. My opponent also castled. In these lowered arenas, we are playing like this. Like, we don't try to castle while the opponent isn't castled. Like, while playing with black, I also sometimes do that. I just wait for my opponent to castle in a side, and I'm gonna castle to this side to avoid that much of a huge pressure that may exert by him by playing with white. And here I challenged also this bishop by pawn to h3. This is a good move, but you know that pawns can't move backward. So while I have moved this pawn forward, this structure is a little bit weak now. Though he don't have any dark square bishop to exploit my this dark square weakness, but we shouldn't play like this. Here I should have pushed this pawn and locked the center and tried to attack perhaps in the queen side, right? Because I have the pawn majority in queen side. I have these doubled pawns, and I should have tried to undouble my pawn here and to start firing in these arenas. Let's ignore it. And as you can see that it's a blunder. Of course, it's a blunder because I have a pawn in e4. So when I am pushing it, he have to go there, and the bishop will be trapped in that next move. And this is a blunder. And yes, I found here the great move. And here, of course, he took this pawn here because it's the best move here. It's good to at least get some pawns for a bishop. And I recaptured, and he recaptured this pawn with knight. Apparently for us this should be the best move here, but this isn't. Even Stockfish strongly argues that it's an inaccuracy. According to Stockfish, I showed my move here. Sorry. According to Stockfish, the best move for black was to take this central pawn here. And I can't explain you why, because and so I can't explain you why he played this move. But then I played this knight to h2, and again it's an inaccuracy because here the best move for me was to push the pawn and lock the center. But here I played knight to h2 because I wanted to trade this knight here, right? Because there can be a possibly a checkmate with queen and a horse. And as you can see, my opponent is higher rated than me, so I was a little bit afraid. Even this much of rating can vary a lot of matches here in our lower and intermediate chess arenas. And here my opponent didn't want to trade, and he get away with his knight. And it's not also a great move here. He should have taken this knight, because after capturing that knight he can give me a check and he will get the initiatives. And here I progressed with my knight because I just want to trade this knight, because if I can trade everything here I will be a pawn up. Right? Oh, sorry for these external clicks, I apologize. And now he took the pawn here, and I took this knight with knight to f6. It was a good move to me. I just wanted to trade off the material. He captured it with this queen. It's of course it's a common move, because if you capture with your g pawn, then your structure is gonna be disintegrated and it would be much easier for me to attack. And of course then the now also the pawn is hanging. Here I captured this pawn with the bishop. Now I captured this pawn with the bishop and not with the rook, because if I captured this pawn with the rook it would be a tempo, but now it's also a tempo. Now I am threatening a discovered attack on the queen, right? As if he don't move that rook in the next turn, then I am gonna play bishop takes d6 here, and it would be a discovered attack on that queen, or this queen may take my bishop. That I didn't notice then, but I thought that if he does nothing and like plays some regular moves like this, yes, we oftenly play these moves, these useless moves here. If when we can't find anything better, then I'll capture this pawn and then this rook, and this is not our line, so I captured this and my opponent gave me a check. And of course you should at first you should check for a check here, because it's the most important thing in chess. I moved my king, then I don't know why he played this pawn here, because in this squad I have a lot of force here, right? Because this pawn is taking this squad, and even this bishop is taking also care of this squad. And while I move my king here, then my rook also will exert pressure in the squad. I don't know why he played pawn to f5 when I have a lot of pressure there. And of course here I took that one because I can defend it easily. He shouldn't take the pawn with the rook and be a minor down, because I am already 2 points up. And of course here's the rook takes f5 is the best move. Yeah, I know nothing about chess. How can it be the best move here? The computers are really weird. Oh man. And here, of course, I captured the rook. There's no second choice for me. Even I think I played. Right? I took 5 seconds to recapture this rook because I thought there might be any complicated calculations. So, and here, and he could, of course, captured my bishop, and I moved my king. As you can see that I should have played king to g2, but no thousand elo player can guess the move that it would be better. Of course, I am trying to hide my king to this way. Why am I gonna play king to g2 and will open my king here? I don't know. And he checked with this rook, and I moved my king. And when he checked again with his queen, I just moved back my king here. And now my king is quite safe here. Now he doesn't have any check because he can't play queen to g5. I'll capture it. And of course, giving the rook again isn't a good idea at all. So he played this move. I don't know why. He just came into a direct threat of this discovered attack of my rook, but he did it. But to my sadness, this king or this rook, they both are in a light square, because if one of them was in a dark square, then I would have won the queen or this rook here. But okay, so here I took this pawn. He have to move his queen, and as he moved his queen here to g5, then of course it's the best move here to retreat your bishop here, and here I saved my bishop and also gain a tempo to this queen. I'm sorry, to this queen. There's no queen in like g6. I'm kind of like ChatGPT. And then he moved his queen, and I took this free pawn. Here he tried to attack my bishop, and I played the best move here. And I knew that if he's gonna move his rook to another square, like even without this square and another else, then I'm gonna checkmate him, right? It's a checkmating square here, and it's of course one of the most satisfying checkmates here with the bishop and the rook. And this game kind of goes on like this. Here, though he had like 1 minute time remaining, but he didn't think, and just in 2 seconds he attacked my bishop again. We friends shouldn't play moves like this. This is just a one mover thing. Like, which just he thought that just he will attack my bishop, and whenever or wherever I retreat my bishop, he may attack it. Even he can't take this bishop because this bishop is defended by my queen. While playing, we have to think these things about the middle game, or we are gonna lose in middle game. And of course I checkmated him. Though though I think 6 seconds for there, as I was a little bit confused that he is just he can't see this checkmate, yeah. So I was a little bit sus about this checkmate and was finding that if there's anything to see, but there was nothing, and I won. I'll give you guys a screenshot here that I played this game a little bit better, like 91% accuracy and all. So this was a quite moderate game for me. I hope you guys have something learned with it. If you learned something with my chess, please subscribe and be with us.